Welcome to video 2.6, which is the last video in the lesson 2. In this one, we're going to look at setting up a Skybox as a possible alternative to using this background image. And so let's jump into trying to do this. So if you have existing Skybox images, I'm going to go through the process for us building a Skybox. So I do want to import these, and I think I might make another subfolder inside of textures. And I'll call this Skybox Custom, because it's a custom-made Skybox. These images were actually made with that Skybox building program that I've linked online. And so there's some pretty interesting presets. But let's open this up and stick this into Unity. So I'm going to drag and drop this into the Skybox custom folder and release. And we can see that we've got these images here. So let's go build our Skybox. If we go up to materials, a Skybox is a material. So right click and create a new material. And we will call this Skybox underscore custom space. And then push enter. And so it shows up down here, but we need to switch the shader type to being a Skybox. So go to the shader and choose Skybox from the list. And there's a lot of cool ones. Unfortunately, we're using the original style of Skybox, which is a 6-sided Skybox. You could probably Google some information about panoramic or procedural or cube map ones. Those ones are very cool. But we're going to do a 6-sided Skybox. And we need to pick our textures for it. So we could just drag and drop them from here. They've already been named appropriately. So if we need the front texture, we'll take Asteroids Skybox front, put it there. Then we take the back texture and put it there. Then we'll take the left texture and put it here. Then the right texture, the up texture, and the down texture. And so this makes my Skybox. Kind of looks kind of funky when it's a Skybox like this, just because it's basically a cube. You're looking at insides of a cube. And I don't think I'm going to modify much else. If you adjust the exposure, it makes it brighter versus darker. So let's leave that at 1 for now. Maybe 1.2, make it a little bit lighter. Rotation. If you don't like what you're looking at, I guess you could rotate it. Leave that at 0 for now. So that's my Skybox. Now let's go set that into my world. So that's going to require us going into the window. Window lighting to do this. And inside this menu, go to environment, and we can set the default Skybox here. So let's choose our Skybox custom sky. And then once you can double click it to make it go away. And now let's hide my background. So I don't need this background anymore. I can uncheck it right here. And so there's my Skybox. If we hit play, it's got to render a little bit here. We need to turn the Skybox on in my camera. So the clear flags, let's have it actually show the Skybox instead. You can actually dock the lighting panel if you wanted to kind of keep it somewhere where you can come back to it easier. So then we can hit play. And so we had turned off the Skybox here. A little bit pixelated. We might need to play with some of that to see if we can make it look a little bit nicer. But I do think that's going to be one of the side effects of an orthographic camera. Let's take a look. If we pause it and we switch the camera to perspective, how the Skybox looks. It looks relatively similar. So then in lighting, we'll go back to our Skybox settings. So we could play with some of these different things to see if we can make the skybox any different. One thing to watch out for is if there's any lighting coming from the skybox. You notice it actually does default to picking the sun direction, so I actually can't really tell. It did choose the strong yellow light as our primary sun, which is that thing. And so it's probably one of those stars in this view. So it looks like there's not much lighting effect coming from the skybox, which is nice. So we can choose to keep the skybox. You could try to generate your own. Let's see what happens if we hit play. Let's undo maximize. And so if we were to take this skybox material, unfortunately, I don't know if we can really dynamically rotate these things. But that could be an argument. You could make an argument for the possibility of maybe trying to adjust this until you find a angle that your skybox looks good at. Another thought too is at runtime we could have the possibility of randomizing the rotation of the skybox, pulling this material and choosing a random rotation so that you might have the skybox look slightly different each time you play your game. That might be something we'll explore in a future lesson when we have the game manager tool set up, where the game manager manages like the wave spawning and all that. So we might mess with it there. We might lower that so it's not as bright. Back to exposure 1. And so here we could just use our skybox as a reasonably different and kind of cool background. It might have been worth my while to try to export these in a higher resolution, but it's still a good start for giving us a background. We could try to get fancier with how we render stars, because it's essentially still a flat image that's generating our stars. We could try to actually create a transparent layer of stars and another one under it. But, you know, trying to make a pretty black background is not really the focus of our assignment, and you could probably spend a decent amount of time trying to make this look nicer. But at least with the skybox and the ability to load our own skyboxes, we could, you know, tweak it to what we want and decide if we feel like the skybox or the background looks better. So, but it provides another option. I think I did have another set of skyboxes as an asset to import. They're old, so let's see what happens if I import Skyboxes version 4. Or if it'll just fry my project. And so we could turn my background back off, go back to the lighting settings, and we can change my default skybox. I can hit this little button here. Maybe I could take a look at the starry night sky, which I don't think is bright enough to see anything. Or it's possible that that skybox, wherever it happens to be hiding, there it is. Ooh, that's really hard to see. It's real dark skybox. And plus, I don't think there's anything exciting on the down, because a lot of these tend to just be sunny skies, which would really make a whole lot of sense for our project. But just kind of showing that you could load different skyboxes in, and there are different skyboxes out there. I probably wouldn't recommend using that set, but you know, they are skyboxes. So let's go back to switching to the one that we made. can use. Oh, that's terrible. Where's my Skybox custom stars? And so we'll keep this one, even though it's not the highest quality, but it still looks good. And so now I have a background for my game, with the possibility down the road I could probably even randomize the rotation of it to get a different appearance. And so we don't have to delete the background. In fact, we can just disable it, and then we can re-enable it if we need it, because it's not going to cause any harm if it's just hidden there in the background. And so that will wrap up our last video here of loading skyboxes and configuring skyboxes. And that might make a good argument for the possibility of taking a look at the Unity Asset Store to see. I'm not logged into my account, and actually they want you to do it from the website, which is probably a better idea than doing it from the Unity browser. It was really buggy when you did it through the Unity browser, like the built-in browser here. But the Asset Store could be a good place to look for skyboxes or lighting effects or particle effects that could enhance the appearance of your game. And so we'll end lesson 2 here. We've got a background, we've got movement. Lesson 3 is going to focus on being able to attack and spawning weapons. Then we'll move on to spawning enemies. So thank you for watching, and good luck configuring a skybox that you enjoy, and try to find a background that makes your game look like something you want.